And welcome back to Thoughts of the Roundtable with me, Matt Rebar.
And me, Paul Laux.
And with Mackenzie Jackson. We have a special guest. It's been way too long since we've had someone on this show. I think because people don't know about the show. So that could be part of it. But I'm so glad that we caught Mackenzie just in time because it's spooky season. It's Halloween. And Mackenzie has experience, knowledge. I don't want to say, are you a ghost hunter? You'll have to tell us. But Mackenzie's here to share some stories. So Mackenzie, tell us about your background as a aficionado of spirits.
So basically in high school, I really got into it with the Queen Mary ship. I think it's in California right now, and just watching videos. So over the past couple of years, I've just gained experience and knowledge to watching so many videos, going through different channels and trying to figure out who was faking it, who was not. And just yeah.
So you almost have gaydar, but for people's experience with the spiritual world. You're yes, that was a legitimate spiritual experience. No, you are not experiencing spiritual things, right? Kind of.
Yeah. I mean, it's basically kind of like that because sometimes it's so easy to tell when people are faking it. And sometimes it's kind of difficult, but usually it's that when you can see that cut and you're just nah, or when they increase the music and it's no, you're faking it.
Are you a medium or do you not claim to be?
I am not a medium. I have never personally had any big experiences other than a door randomly closing. Although I do want to become a paranormal investigator, honestly.
That would be so cool.
I gotta say, before we get into this real deep, I just have to tell you this, Matt, and Mackenzie will appreciate this. So last night, I don't get freaked out by much television or stuff. But they just rebooted that Unsolved Mysteries show.
Yeah.
I forgot how horrifying the music is. Forget the show itself. That music is the scariest shit ever. And you remember the original host, Robert Stack? Mm-hmm. I remember him scaring the literal piss out of me as a kid. I was horrified of that man. And so I watched the rebooted episode last night. I was this is preparing me for tonight because I don't even have to watch the episode. I'm terrified just by the music alone. Whoever wrote that score is a genius. I gotta know.
Yeah. I know Mackenzie. I know where Mackenzie stands. But Paul, what do you believe in? Do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe what's your belief sphere like?
I do. I've never really experienced any paranormal stuff myself. So I don't have any fun stories of seeing things or experiencing things, but I don't discount it. Mm-hmm. I believe that kind of stuff exists. I just never have personally experienced it.
Yeah.
Same. And which I'm honestly pretty happy about. I don't want to at all. I don't.
See, but I feel I'm putting that energy out. Ghosts, please. I want to experience you, but then you said at the same time, but also no. If you're a good ghost, let's have an experience. But if you're a bad ghost, I don't want to have an experience.
I will say in college, I did a Ouija board one time. I was nah, man, never doing that again. Nope.
But okay, but most of the time you could tell people with agendas are the idea is we're all holding the Ouija board and then someone's and you're okay,
this one felt way too real. No, this one felt way too real. That's what I'm nothing really crazy happened. But I was nah, I'm not messed. This just feels like it should not be a thing.
Oh my gosh. Well, Mackenzie, why don't you start us off with a story? I know you picked some stories to share, some spooky season. So if you hate ghost stories, we'll catch you next time.
Alrighty. Well, the first one is called Haunted Apartment. So starting out, for starters, I've always been fascinated with the paranormal, but never did any ghost hunts or anything. As a kid, I once felt like I encountered something and always thought it was my imagination. But now I'm 100% believing something is out there. The apartment I've been staying at is new. I've been here for 2 years and been the only tenant. I live alone besides my cat, which has been staying with me and has been my saving grace. The first year of living here, I experienced nothing strange at all, but April of last year, that all changed. Everything started one morning when I got out of bed. I heard my washer going, which is pretty strange to me as I've never recalled starting it and no way it would have washed for 8 to 9 hours.
Can you imagine that's what it was? I'm going to set the washer before I go to bed and the washer just we're gonna keep it cycling. We just want that extra clean, extra.
I just want it fresh. I just need it super fresh.
I feel like the clothes come out and they're like miniature Barbie clothes. Like suddenly my extra large is like a small. Okay, so she wakes up and she hears the washer.
Yes, this still happens and even happened today. I had people check the electric in my own washer dryer, which is now only a year old. It only started to pick up from there, which then turned into open and letting my cabinet slam shut in my kitchen. This only happens some nights when I turn into the bedroom. At first, I figured it was my neighbors until I put my own ear to my bedroom door one night. Forgot to add that the cat sleeps in my bedroom with me. It sounded like it came straight from my kitchen. I put cameras up to catch whatever was going on, but I got nothing, which led me to think I was going crazy until my girlfriend experienced the shower curtain moving in the bathroom. She thought it was the cat until she saw he was with me. As for my cat, he sticks with me like glue, and I've noticed he has been staring at walls for minutes at a time. And to be honest, it scares me. The cat even gets scared at times and just wants me to hold him. It's been getting worse. I've seen something moving out of the corner of my eye recently, and you figured it would be my cat, but nope. Every time I look, he is nowhere near where I saw something move.
Now, the apartment was new, right?
Yes.
Isn't it a thing where, like, I've heard like spirits can follow people? Like, so that doesn't necessarily, like, whether you have an old or new place, it like doesn't necessarily mean anything if it like follows you places.
No, yeah, like ghosts can attach themselves to you. And like sometimes it's like a protective ghost, sometimes it is like an evil entity. And if it's following you, you should probably get it checked out.
What is
Doctor, I have a ghost following me. Check it out.
I got a question.
Mhm.
Is an evil entity, which is a terrible word to say, is that technically a ghost if it was never a person?
Ooh.
I don't know.
Or is it like a demon? Does a ghost have to be like you were alive and you died? Like, does a ghost imply that you had a physical earthly body? Do we know that?
I don't think anybody's like done research on it. I mean, from my point of view, I feel like a ghost is somebody who was alive and then like died and is not like crossed over necessarily.
Because like to me, if I was experiencing like a ghost, like I feel like all this stuff could happen easily. If I was experiencing a ghost, I don't think it would bother me so much. But I feel like if it was like something like evil, that would like, I would not be planned that kind of thing. Like I feel like a ghost is like, okay, maybe whatever, you're pushing some stuff around my house, but nah, man, anything beyond that, hell no.
So if the ghost, maybe the ghost is following her, but what if the ghost, okay, so the brand new apartment complex, we could assume maybe that there was something that used to be there that like, okay, the ghost died, or maybe it was like where the county jail used to be, and there's all these entities and like
burial grounds or something.
We have this new lush apartment complex situated over hundreds of dead bodies. Like, you look at the best view of the river and of old souls.
Can I take a pause for a second? I had a friend who lives in New York, and they live on Long Island, and all those homes are super, super, super old. Her backyard of her home was a 1700s children's cemetery. Like her back door to her house, you'd open it up and it almost would touch a tombstone. That's how close it was. I was like, there is literally no way your house is not haunted. Like 0% chance. It is not possible.
Well, today I found out that I have a new phrase I hate: children's cemetery. Either because there's a bunch of dead kids, or the idea of a cemetery where kids are like, la la la, roses, ghosties, and all. Like, can you imagine like driving by a cemetery and children are creepily singing, and you're like,
well, it's because it was like the 1700s, so obviously a lot of things were different back then. But like even the tombstones are like mini. I'm like, this is terrifying.
No,
like, hell no.
Tombstones.
Yes, it was horrifying. Like
I like how like the family was like, you know what? We don't have to get a full tombstone. We can go halfsies.
You know what was absolutely hilarious? Because I asked her parents, I was like, why would you buy this house? So like, it was pretty cheap. I'm like, I wonder why.
Over here to the left is the breakfast nook, and over here to the right is the children's cemetery that's now been paved over. Yeah, big selling point. What do you think, Mackenzie? So to this apartment story, what do you think is happening? What's your advice for her? Should she just move?
I mean, it's always hard because if something's attached to this person, then it's either evil or it's good. If it's good, it's kind of like a protector in a way sometimes. If it's evil, you're just done.
This doesn't seem like one that's like necessarily do anything bad.
I think
But you're not, okay, but you're not that good if you're like shaking the shower curtain and like putting the washer up, overnight. Like, I don't think that's good either. It's like mischievous.
But it's not really like, it's mischievous, but I don't think it's like evil. Like, it's just kind of like a trickster almost. Like,
maybe
it's not
she
really
lives by the children's cemetery and it's a young child pranking her.
I mean,
like, hee, the washer will be on. Hee. I don't know. That sounds like Michael Jackson.
I don't think I could handle being a paranormal investigator. Seriously. I don't think I could do it.
Should we do another one, Mackenzie?
Yes.
Ooh.
I have a good one.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Oh no. Stop letting me.
Isn't Ohio one of the most haunted states in the country? Like, I've heard that.
I mean, there's definitely like a lot of haunted places out there.
Mm-hmm.
I know Ohio University, it's haunted there, especially one of the dorms is haunted. The Ridges.
My wife went there. And so she knows all about that.
Why is it so haunted? From all the students who like drank themselves to death?
No, there was the Ridges, which was an old TB hospital.
Oh, I
and
like the name
so
of
that just has
the hospital.
Yeah, it just has a whole bunch of just bad mojo from just being like horrific. And then one of the dorms a kid died in, and I think it's just like that specific room is like insanely haunted.
A girl committed suicide, and I think that whole upper section is like blocked off, but like people have apparently like seen a girl figure in a window before.
No, oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. Like my brother, he went there, and every single time I'd walk by that dorm, I'd be like, "Are you in there?"
Have you ever? So you've been to the Ridges? Because I've been to the Ridges too.
I think I've just driven past it, and I don't think like actually stopped.
It's one of those places where you drive by and you just look at her like, yeah, that place is haunted. Like, it just, you're like, that's haunted 100%.
That's the place that in one of those horror movies they drive by and be like, let's just stop here. I love look how spooky it is, and they get murdered. Whereas for the rest of us, we're like, and we're going to 60 miles per hour now.
1 second. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this next story is titled "One Morning at the Radio Station."
Oof. Oh, I could tell you about a lot of mornings at a radio station that were pretty scary.
Did you write this?
Like your deep V-neck day, Matt?
I will never forget how I was practically shamed for wearing a tank top to a radio station job. I'm sorry, we're not the president's ball at the White House. We're a radio station that honestly looks like it was made in the 80s. So I was giving it some modern flair with a tank top. I should have been commentated.
Your entire chest was hanging out. Full seaweed chest.
What is it not hanging out? I'm sorry. Like, am I gonna like, okay. No. Anyway, back to the scary morning at the radio station. You know it's a scary morning at the radio station when you come for me, Paul. That's a scary morning. Oh, gosh.
Oh my. Well, so it starts out, this is the only thing that has ever happened to me that has been difficult for me to explain away. It happened 30 years ago. I was working at a small town AM radio station that had no FM sister station and was not going to the old talk show format that was to eventually swallow AM radio. We were all music with the usual sports, news, etc. That was all done live by the DJ.
Not anymore.
Yeah, seriously.
Now it's probly part-time.
That's the ghost. That's the ghost. Ooh, live talent.
The ghost is radio. Ooh.
Non-syndication. Ooh.
It's piped in from New York. Ooh. We're gonna fire you and boo.
Format flips. Ooh.
You salespeople not getting paid. Boo. Okay, we gotta stop.
Let's just keep moving.
Oh, okay.
Okay. For some context, when I was hired, the longtime owner, Bob, had just died and his widow was in the process of selling the station.
Good for her.
Yes. We used to joke about Bob still hanging around the station in a ghostly form, but no one really believed it, and there was no paranormal events with one possible exception. The back entrance to the station was a 3-foot, 6-inch wide wooden door with a massive spring that automatically closed the door after anyone entered. The spring had a very distinctive sound on both opening and closing that was unmistakable. And when you were on the air, you were standing with your back to the door. One of my shifts was Sunday morning. I was all alone and I signed the station at 7 a.m. with a 15-minute live newscast. One morning,
wait a minute, a 15-minute live newscast.
That is a long.
That's a long newscast for a small town.
I'd be dead after that. How much time? How much news is going on in there?
Local news. Shelly is selling her cow for $500, and what do you? Because he said it's a small town, right? Mm-hmm. Small town AM radio station, girl. That could have been a 5-minute break.
I absolutely love how we're not even tearing apart the paranormal activity of the story. We're just a 15-minute newscast. That's BS. This ain't true.
That's the horror. I have to do a 15-minute newscast? Anyway.
Hell no.
Okay, time to the spooky stuff. So for some reason, she has the worst studio in the world because the back door to the station is in the studio. Which
that is
not a great exit door. I don't know. Anyway, okay, so we're Sunday morning.
Yes. One morning, I arrived early, pulled my news from the AP wire service, and started my newscast right at 7. About 2 minutes into it, I very clearly heard the back door open and close. I thought nothing of it, as our news director often came in early after covering a city council meeting or other news event. I even half expected him to hand me a local news story for inclusion into my newscast. After I finished the newscast, I started the first record and walked back to the newsroom, expecting to have a little chat with whoever had came in. No one was there. I quickly checked the rest of the building, but it was deserted, as was normal for that time of day. I then went and checked the back door that I had very clearly heard open and close, and it was locked. I was a little creeped out, but still not believing that anything out of the ordinary happened. I talked with the news director on Monday morning. He had not been in, and because the door was locked, it had to be somebody with a key, not some random person passing by. I asked around, but no one admitted to having entered the station that morning.
Oh my!
I'll be honest with you. I've worked in a bunch of radio stations. They are creepy as hell. They seriously are. And
because the ghosts or because of other things in the radio station, Paul?
It's just the aura of radio stations, especially overnight, are very terrifying. You've been there. You know what it's like. It's like
I wasn't
the ambient music.
Listen, when I worked overnight in radio, I wasn't worried about the radio station. I was worried about the streets of downtown Cleveland at midnight to 5 a.m. because that's when stuff goes down. Nothing ever goes down at 5 p.m. in downtown Cleveland. It's going down at midnight,
You do know that building is haunted, right? For everyone who doesn't know, the Halley building is where there's the
is
local
that Mr.
Cleveland station.
Jingle Keys?
Something, but the Halley building is incredibly haunted.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
So Mackenzie,
I never experienced anything.
Mackenzie, what do you think happened here? Do you think that the door just I don't know, slowly closed or I don't know. Do you have any explanation or?
I mean, the whole thing that gets me is that it's a spring door, so it will automatically close. And the person mentioned that she heard it open and close, but nobody was there. I feel like if somebody would have come in, they would have tapped their shoulder to notify them that they're there, not freak them out. But also it has to be unlocked. Granted, I've heard some crazy stories of ghosts actually opening locked doors before and actually locking doors. So
Bob is probably damn, I'm dead. I still got to go to work, bro. This sucks.
Bob's there's never a slow day in radio. Gotta make sure that 15-minute news broadcast gets out to everybody.
Bob's probably pissed his wife is selling it. Not even like
she probably sold it a good time. She probably sold in the 90s back before Twitter and Reddit and everything. And she probably made a good amount of money that she wouldn't have made today had she held on to it. So good for her. Bob's wife, smart, financially spent.
Matt, would you kind of circling back? Would you ever do a Ouija board, Matt?
Oh,
have you ever? Have either of you done it? Have either of you done it?
I've not done it. I mean, I have fun friends, but I don't have friends that would have like pulled out the Ouija board. Like, I feel like there's a certain type of friend that you're like, oh, they would pull out a Ouija board.
Yeah. Well, I had
I
one of those friends in college, and I did that, and I was like,
It's usually the friend who has like the Hot Topic membership, and like a weird piercing, like
she's really into astrology.
Oh, she probably like looked at you and was like, "You're a Cancer." Oh, I know everything I need to know. Now touch the Ouija board.
I have a friend who claims to this day that he messed up his house because he let something into his home with the Ouija board. Like to this day, he goes, "I totally like just screwed my house over." And he says his house is like incredibly just like run over by like evil stuff, not just ghosts, like evil messed up stuff.
Maybe it's his. Maybe he needs to spend more money on the upkeep. Is it the ghost's fault that your wooden patio has rotted wood? The leaky faucet, is that the ghost's fault? Or maybe you just need to tighten the faucet. I don't know. Is it the ghost's fault that the floors are dirty? Get a mop, bitch. I don't know. I don't think we can blame everything on the ghost. I don't know. That feels a little like my laundries that I see like a giant pile of laundry. That's the ghost is stopping me from doing my laundry. No, that's just, I don't know.
I would say like if you're gonna run my laundry on that long, you need to throw some shit in there, homie. Like throw in some darks or something.
Help out with the drawer.
You're like, damn, man.
I actually put some of those dryer wipes. I know that like they don't work, but like I just figured I would. Thank you, ghost.
All of a sudden you're home. You wake up and your home smells like Fabuloso and everything's like just spotless.
Yeah,
it's like.
But like back with Ouija boards, they're actually known to kind of be like haunted with like evil entities. It's like, if you've ever heard of like Zozo, oftentimes Zozo is spelled out on the Ouija board, and that's a demon.
What is it? Zozo? Because I've only ever done it once, so I have like minimal experience with it.
I'm not gonna lie, Zozo is not a demon name. That is like a Wiggles character name, or like the sixth. Wiggles. That's like the fifth Teletubby or something. Like Zozo. I wouldn't be scared of someone named Zozo.
Wait, it spells it out?
Yeah, it'll spell it out. And that's when you know something's entering.
See, and then you have the friend who's gonna F with everybody and like push the thing onto the Zozo button, and it's like you're screwed. You're screwed.
I mean, thank God I've never I've only been it once, and that didn't happen to me. But I've heard way too much stuff of people like just you like open. Don't you have to like close it a certain way and everything?
Yeah.
Or, like,
so
like you have there because there's like a certain like way to like blow out candles in even everything. No, I'm
There's not a certain way to blow out. What do you do? Like you like cover your mouth and like blow like coming down on the candle.
What's certain order you have to do it in?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's a thing.
With a Ouija board, you have to circle it 3 times and then say hello, and then you start the whole process. And then when you want to end it, you want to say like goodbye and then circle it 3 times again to like close it all.
See, Matt, I'm not crazy. I know what I'm talking about, homie. Follow me. I'll be.
Yeah, I mean, a broken clock's right twice a day, right, Paul? So
knowing this, shut up, Matt. Knowing this, would you do it now, or no? You're not messing with that.
Not in my house. My house is already a mess. I do not need a ghost pranking me in my house. This place is already disgusting. It's like. It looks like medieval Europe in here. I mean, it's like shit everywhere. Just no sanitation.
You need one of those. You need one of those like servant ghosts. From like from medieval times.
Dude, let's pitch it to Netflix. Servant Ghost. It's like a comedy, like a buddy comedy, and it's like. Okay, so Mackenzie has a few more stories. So Paul, I don't know about you, but I'm thinking of part 2.
I'm thinking that too.
I'm thinking double the ghost.
Dude.
We talk Ghosts 2, Electric Boogaloo. So yeah, we'll check out next time. Mackenzie has a couple more stories for you. So we'll see you next time. Bye.
Later.